Hello and welcome to Althea Suite. Today I'm going to show you different workflows on how to create a purchase order. I have 5 different workflows. The first workflow I'm going to show you is creating a PO from the PO manager. So we're going to go to our purchases module and then go into purchase orders. Once we're here, we're going to go up to the top and hit the new button. This is going to generate us a new PO with its new number, and it's going to take today's date. The 2 mandatory fields that we need to fill out are the supplier, and then we need to choose which warehouse the items are going to go into. Once you have both of those selected, you can continue down to the bottom. To add a product, you either need to go ahead and scan it in with your barcode scanner or come over here and type it out. I already have one in mind, so I'm just going to paste it in here. Once your item is typed out or you've pasted it in there like I just did, you're going to go ahead and click it once. It's going to place itself in the grid. You'll notice that the cursor is on the quantity side. So you just need to tell it either one quantity, or you can move over to the next field, which is the unit price column. It is not necessary to enter a unit price, but if you happen to know the cost of the item, you go ahead and enter it now. Otherwise, you go ahead and enter this in later on down on the purchase side. Once you have your item or items in the PO, go ahead and scroll down to the bottom a little bit. And then we want to make sure that we hit the either save button or save and print to go ahead and save this PO. We also do have the option to go ahead and put this on hold, where it'll pause and not save the PO, but it'll keep a record of it. But for this purpose, I'm going to go ahead and hit save. So that will save us a purchase order in there, and that'll be my first PO in the system. Now for the workflow number 2, we're going to create another PO, but we're going to do it as a back order PO to a specific sales order. To do this, we're going to go into our orders module. Once we come into our orders module, you'll see a list of your orders right here. To go to a specific one, we can either go ahead and search for it, or we can come over here and pick one. I'm going to choose my first one here. I'm going to go to its 3-dotted menu or its context menu. Once I select that, about midway through this option is going to be an option here to create a back order PO. We just want to click on that once. This is going to open up a auto-generated purchase order. We need to make sure that we select the supplier this is coming from. That way the system knows on how to bill it. The system has already chosen my main warehouse, or you can select another warehouse you want to go into. If you scroll down, you'll notice that this order number has been selected. It's already checked that this is a back order. It's got the original order date that the order was written on, the customer name, and the address. Once all the information is good, if you want to go ahead and enter cost, and you can again. It's not necessary, but once everything is ready, we'll go ahead and hit that save button. That's going to save that PO against this order down over here. If I scroll to the right a little bit, there is a PO number column. And if I check that little question mark right there, it'll let us know which PO number that belongs to. I could also click on my PO number right there, and that will put it into the view mode, give us the same information that we just saw. So that was workflow number 2. So now for our third workflow, we're going to create a PO from another order, but it's going to be using the consolidated item view. So that checkbox is right here in the middle of the page. If you just check that once, it's going to select everything in here that needs to get ordered. In this case, it's just these 2 items, the ELF and the B36. You'll notice that it will give you the short quantity right here. That's because it's only looking at the short quantities. It's also considering any arriving quantity as available. So that PO that we just created for that other item, if I deselect that, you'll notice that that third item came in there, the 7MWTW. This got shown up back in here because we're no longer considering the arriving quantity, in this case, the PO that we just created. But if we select that again, that'll get rid of that one item. That way we don't do any double ordering. Now to create a PO against these items, I don't want to mix these because there are two different suppliers. You can see over here on the right-hand side. One is coming from Electrolux, the other one is coming from Bosch. Now, obviously, if they're coming from a distributor, I can go ahead and select that. But because these are two different suppliers, if I try to create two different POs, I'm going to hit that create back order PO for consolidated order items. A message will appear letting me know that the items selected have mixed suppliers, and it will ask me if I want to continue. So since I selected both of those, the system got confused and didn't know which supplier to choose. So if both of these items were happen to come through a distributor, you can just choose it there with one of your options. But what we can do instead, we'll need to create two different POs since they're coming from two different preferred suppliers, as noted over here in this column. So one is coming from Electrolux, the other one is coming from Bosch. So you'll notice that I need to order 7 because I'm 7 short from Electrolux. So what we need to do is go to the context menu or the three-dotted menu. And then there's these two options. So we can either create a stock PO, which would just create a PO with 7 of the items in there, or we can create a back order PO for the consolidated order items. What this option will do is it'll still create us a PO for 7 quantity of that item, but it's going to connect each 7 to each of their orders. So if we click that button once, it's going to give us an auto-generated PO number. It's already grabbed this supplier Electrolux because my item was connected to this preferred supplier, and it's putting us in the main warehouse already. If I scroll down further, you'll see that 7 quantity got split between each 7 of their orders. So order number 2, number 5, number 7, and so on. It's going to list out the order document number plus the customer's name that's associated. So that was for the first one. Once we save this, it's going to create us one PO for those 7 items. And you'll notice that it got taken away from our selection here. That's because we're still considering arriving quantity as available. If we take this checkbox away, it will bring back those items again. But now that we have that checkbox checked, we can mitigate the double ordering of items. So now that we're left with our last item, we want to go to its context menu there again and create a back order PO for consolidated order items. Just to show you, if I choose this first option up here to create just a PO, it's going to grab all 8 of those quantity. This time you'll notice that it kept one line in there, but 8 of them have came in. This will just be for stock PO. So if you just want to add the 8 quantity to your stock, you can without connecting it to your orders. But we don't want to do that in this instance, so we'll go ahead and cross this out. Go to the context menu there. Create back order PO for consolidated order items. If I scroll down a little bit, you'll notice that my 8 quantity got split up between 8 different lines. It's got their order number plus the customer name associated. Be sure to hit the save button. And then that will take this away from this grid. So this should tell you now that you don't have anything short. You either have things on order or you're still awaiting new orders to build this list out further. So for the next workflow, this is going to be creating a backorder PO from sales invoices, not just generated from the order itself. It's not a suggested workflow because we want to start from some orders, but if you happen to have some sales invoices, we can create backorder POs for those. So we want to go into our sales module and then into sales invoices. Once I'm in my invoices, I want to go ahead and create a PO from a specific invoice. So context menu or three-dotted menu. And then in there, we have an option to create a back order PO. We want to check that button once. Once this window pops up, you can either choose last supplier, preferred supplier, no supplier, which is a common one if you don't know what supplier you want to use. In this case, I'm just going to choose preferred supplier because in my system, my items are already labeled with their preferred suppliers. Once you have one of those options checked, we want to hit that generate button. You'll see this message comes up letting you know the PO was created successfully. Once you close out of that window, you don't need to do anything else. The system has already updated your invoice. So if I scroll to the right, we do have a PO number column. If you click on that little question mark, you'll see the PO number that got generated. So that is a fourth way in how to create a backorder PO for your items that you want to sell to your customers. The fifth workflow has something to do with the inventory. So the fourth workflow has something to do with your reordered items. Your reordered items are found within your purchases module. If we go into reorder management. Now for me, I've only done my main warehouse. And for example, I have this model number. So I'm telling the system that whenever this is less than 1, to maintain a safety stock to keep of 5. So if I'm less than 1, meaning 0, it wants me to get back up to 5. Now, with these rules set, it can just be for one item, like I have now, or it could be for all of your items. But either way, you need to go into your inventory module and then go into stock. This will not work if you're under all warehouses. You need to go under a specific warehouse where we set the rules, such as my main warehouse. Once you're in your specific warehouse, we have this checkbox all the way at the top that says show only items to be reordered. We're going to check that box once. It's going to give you a list of anything that meets that threshold that we just went over on the reorder management. So because I have my current stock at 0, that's less than 1. So now it wants me to order 5. So you'll notice there's some checkboxes up here to include quantity from pending POs. So if you do have other pending POs, it'll also, combine in here. Now, what we want to do from here is allow multiple selection. Go ahead and select your item we want to reorder, and then we can hit this option up here to generate PO for the selected items. I could have also generated a PO for all the items if I had more items in there, but I'm going to hit this option right here to generate PO for the only selected ones, because maybe I'm only selecting a specific supplier in this case. So this is for hire. So generate PO for selected items. I'll use my preferred supplier. I do need to specify which warehouse to deliver this into, and then I'm hit generate. Once you saw the message that your PO was created successfully, that means you can go into your purchases, go into your POs. Once you're in here in your POs, you'll notice the top one is the most recent one, and that's the one that we just created with our reorder management rules. By clicking look into the PO number, it should be that same GTT, and there it is right there. It's not connected to any orders, but it has the 5 quantity in there because I told the system that I need to order back up to 5. So those are our 5 different workflows we have to creating a backorder PO for your customers in Althea Suite. Thank you.